So now that pretty much breaks mousesports' economy almost entirely. They are going to end up just on Tech 9 armor purchases for the upcoming round. And once again, very, very quickly trying to push their way into the bomb site, but it's not going too great. One kill, but both now, 3 more have been traded back by Edward here before he finally goes down to Ropes, and he's not going to get very far either. As soon as he goes to the outer portion of the site, he's taken down. Now, Oscar did spot the rifle barrel here a moment ago of Simple, so he's able to trade that kill back. And he's got a 1v2 set against him. Doesn't have the bomb, but he can still very much win this play. As he's going to try to push forward. The flash, not too successful, but the flick onto Flamey is definitely going to be successful. As now it's down to a 1v1. Him versus Guardian. Try and clutch this one back out. He almost did it back at the end of the last map, but he's got another chance to save his team here. Keep them in control. Molly going to be well-timed. Should, actually, I think Guardian just managed to get past that. So he's still going to have this flank. Unfortunately, he took a lot of damage in the process of it, though. But with the Ops being in play, that may not come to matter too much. It really depends on the guns that they have out when they get into the battle. But Oscar, managing to make his way past Guardian, should be able to get the bomb onto the ground and start the timer against Guardian's favor. But right now, though, Guardian just trying to investigate and make sure that he doesn't get flanked out as well. As Oscar just waits down the time now that he's got the bomb planted securely on the ground. Dodges the flash. Should be able to hear these footsteps, too. So this is going to be a relatively easy closeout. There you go, Oscar. Perfect positioning, perfect timing on the way that he plays that one out, and he secures it in the final 1v1. Keeping mousesports in control of the map.
Just an insanely good 1v3 by Oscar. You see, after he kills Simple, he picks up Simple's off, gets that nice kill there, but the way he played that 1v1 was just so impressive. Smart. That was so smart. Throws the smoke, understands that he doesn't want to let him get behind him, so he throws that Molotov. I'm assuming he heard Guardian get hit by the Molotov. I think he took a tick of damage through it. Knew exactly where he was. Plants in the proper spot. I mean, that was really nice by him.
So now this takes us into the next round where both teams are going to be back up to full buy. NaVi obviously struggling a little bit here that their money is going to be brought down pretty quickly, but they still have everything they need to defend this. And mousesports, taking a look at them, they go back into the much more methodical style of play since their sort of rush plays, well, at least to a certain degree, worked out for them in the last round there. They're going to change it up a bit more here this time, as they do just stack for the most part outside of the mid-connector and only have 1 or 2 players at most holding in the B-halls this time. Dennis is really trying to get himself into A-long, but the constant mollies being bombarded with by the CTs are certainly not helping his case. That's going to go away now, though. It opens up a whole new page for players like Lowell to move their way in from Suicide as well. Try and pinch out these last 2. Flamey's going to read into it, though, but he's only able to get 1 kill. It's traded back a second later by Lowell, and Simple's red, hiding in the little crow's nest over there. Edward trading 1 and now 2 kills back at it, though. Keeps NaVi in control, as they're going to have to quickly rotate their 2 remaining players over from the B-bomb site. Thankfully for them, Mauser being relatively slow in their follow-up to try and get out onto this site. So it is going to give time for NaVi to try and line up. However, Guardian's not going to be ready for that peek from Ropes, so he moves in, just destroys Guardian, and brings us back down into another even fight. And Ropes, so beautifully played, just out of the corner of his eyes, spots Edward, and is able to go behind cover, re-peek that to destroy him, and now at least seized alone to try and clutch this one back out. And he can't even safely push out onto the site. He's still stuck behind his smoke. It's finally going to fade away now. But as he moves in, he has very, very little intel about where these last 2 are positioned. A bit of a lucky break, though, as he spots Ropes for free, catches him from the backside, but doesn't succeed in picking up the kill, which has almost certainly sealed his fate. Ropes finally going to be able to peek back out, finish off the job, as he ends up with a 3K, sending mousesports up to 7 now.
Yeah, NaVi set up really well to win that round. I mean, they have 3 people at A. Edward able to get those 2 kills to put it into 3v2, but Ropes on that lurk roll doesn't actually go down drop or out B or anything like that. Goes right back up middle, able to get those 2 kills to open up the site and make it a 2v1. And just 2v1 at that B site is generally a pretty easy site to stop any retake from.
You expect another probably pretty scrimmy strat here from mousesports, as they certainly know NaVi's on the eco there, even if the 2 SMG buys come back in from Chris J and Dennis. So C's trying to hold this one back off. They don't check him originally, but he can't hit any shots himself. And here we go. As expected, it's pretty much just utter domination by the mousesports players, as they've pretty much wrapped this one up already. Simple just running away. So it's not to feed them the extra cash for free, but they're going to be taking this one. It's going to be 8-3 in just a moment here as soon as they find Simple.
Which is the 3rd round they won, because they won the 3rd round. They won the force buy round that they had, and then they won the one after that where they rushed B again, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they stopped them at.
They kept trying to force that. They stopped after they actually won in the 1v1. Yeah, it was just the 2 rounds straight where they kept trying to rush their way into B. They managed to win.
Simple only 2-7 right now.
Yeah, I think the analyst talked about that in the last segment when we ended up doing the overtime for the mousesports game, about how Simple had kind of fallen off tremendously in the past couple of months ever since joining NaVi. He did pretty good for the first few months, but then he sort of lost a lot of that flair going into 2017.
We have another tactical pause coming out from NaVi. I think what happens is that without Zeus on the team, I think, you know, at first we saw them win, what was it, ESL New York, right? I believe
that was
right
the
after,
first win, yeah.
Right after he left, right? Mm-hmm. They practiced, like, it was an absurd amount, I remember hearing, right? Like 120 hours was all on their Steam accounts and stuff for the past 2 weeks. And they win that event. But I think what happens is Zeus is probably the player that was on that team who doesn't reinforce bad habits, probably, right? This is just, you know, my guess of kind of what occurs, right? So someone does something wrong, someone takes a peek that's not good, someone's position not good. Immediately he's there, he's like correcting. He's like, no, don't do that, don't do that. But then without someone like that, maybe everybody starts playing a little bit more free-flowing and they kind of develop these habits, right? And then slowly you don't have that person just immediately when it happens, hey, stop, don't do that, right? And then it becomes more normal and more normal and more normal. And all it takes is a few of those to happen before you kind of fall off a bit.
Yeah, and you just lock yourself into those bad habits.
And you see Dennis uses that molly and that one way every single time. And I'm telling you, as a CT, even if you have an op scoped on that, it is so T-sided.
Well, Navi's pretty much just avoided going up to here at all now. They haven't had players here in at least like 4 or 5 rounds. The closest they've had is have these guys like in the middle portion of this A-long push, like where the crow's nest is and where the suicide entry is. But they haven't had anybody over here by way like the haystacks there anymore for like pretty much most of this half ever since they started mauling it consistently.
A ton of map control early on. NaVi again sending 3 towards A here. I believe that is Guardian with plat control. Simple losing his duel to Lol. Lol only has a Mac 10.
He beats him out there. Simple gets baited and taking some shots early on. He hears the noise, I think, and fires a little bit too early and then just can't adjust in time. So he's going to go down. Now the rest of the Mouths trying to move their way back in. Flamey having a good hold, though. He's picked up a double kill. He's been able to keep this even for now, but he needs support from his teammates ASAP. Otherwise, he's going to go down. He's already getting mollied outside of the shed. Does decent damage to one more player before finally getting knocked out by Oscar. But the damage has been done. And now in the meantime, as the Chaotic Rotate moves in, they're going to be completely out of position. And Ropes may just have a free kill onto this last player as he indeed is just going to walk right out, eliminate Seized, and shut down the round for mousesports as they're up to 9, just dominating against NaVi here in the first half.
Oscar, just nice shots in order to get that 3K. That's 2 3Ks now on very important rounds. Wins the 3v1. Coming up this gun round, gets another 3K. Rops on a nice flank, and you see how they just pause as soon as Rops gets that positioning and that info. Oscar, even though they paused, you still puts on an angle, got another kill. But we see another eco from NaVi, so 9-3, probably going to be 10-3 here. Simple with a deagle might challenge Oscar.
Oscar just patiently waiting it back out. He does actually, I think, try to flick it, but ends up missing the shot entirely. So they'll get away with that one for right now. Dennis is here now. So he may try to eliminate Simple if he goes for that peek again. But Simple's long gone. He's thinking about it for a second, but decided to evacuate everybody to the A site since he is currently the only player actually defending this site. So if he goes down, it's open season for everybody on the mousesports. Just rush right up there. Mousesports are playing more into a default this round, though, spreading their players across the map. Not really trying to pressure in towards B just yet, just kind of holding guys in the halls. Closest they have to moving into a site is still Dennis investigating over here towards Long. And this has been his playground for most of this half so far. And he's going to try to continue that as he moves in, looking for the first kill against Flamey. Flamey in a good position, and he even dinks Dennis, but is not able to get the kill. So the first frag of the round still goes by the way of mousesports here, and it falls to Simple to defend this site as everyone for mousesports seems to be falling in line for an A execute now. Dennis will definitely want to be careful if he proceeds here, but it's looking like he's called it off for right now, and is going to leave it to Oscar to meet the entry here at A-Long. Has to check that cubby. Simple could actually do some really good damage from here if he goes unchecked, and that may very well be the case as we're seeing the move back out. And there you go, the first pickup from him. Looking for a second. Doesn't get the shot off in time. He does tag him once, but can't actually finish the kill. NaVi, though, still has great positioning to try and crush the rest of mousesports here. As more attempt to move back in. They've evened this into a 3v3. Dennis really can't move forward, but Chris J's going to get that kill. Great molly forces another player into the open. Guardian's traded one back, but now he's got a 1v2, and Rups, beautifully shot, goes into the door and denies Guardian of his chance at a clutch.
Yeah, and even though that round got pretty close, I mean, all they ended up doing was some economic damage, which isn't going to matter since mousesports does have enough money to buy out for the rest of the half. NaVi, though, I mean, they've lost 2 rounds now where they've had 3 towards A and mousesports has hit A. Right, so positionally speaking, they haven't played, like, bad or anything. I mean, that's 2 important gun rounds that they lost, right? Just overplaying a site that they're hitting. Those are rounds you expect to win. The setup doesn't really work out very well. There was that player boosted who wasn't even able to get a kill. Dennis just immediately checked it, took him out. That was a really important frag. And now Simple getting the double op with Guardian.
Oh,
what a shot.
Simple takes his shot, doesn't connect, and then Oscar peeks in there just to close out upon Simple. So there we go. Once again, A-Long is dominated by mousesports. Usually it's Dennis doing the work there, but this time Oscar takes over and finds a massive impact. Ropes is unfortunately going to have his own chain of issues over here. He does go 1 for 1, but is traded out by Guardian. All he was really trying to do is keep 1 or 2 players over here, though, and he succeeded in that respect. Bringing this down to a 4v3. He is going to look to try and initiate a flank with Guardian since he's pushed into those B halls, but he may not be able to really go for this, unfortunately, just due to how quickly mousesports are going to be able to move in and take this control. Good smoke setup too, but I think Flamey can just barely spot beyond it here. He does have to move in, but indeed, spots Chris J. That's the bomb going down. Almost gets the second kill, but Dennis and Lowell trade both those players right back, and that kills most of their chances of winning out here on the 14th. Guardian is going to have to fall back over towards T-Spawn to save that up for the final round.
Look at those smokes, though. That was pretty neat. Cool. Yeah. I mean, it didn't work out that well. I mean, I think there was like a gap, like 3 different gaps between them.
Had good intentions,
but it's still pretty cool.
Especially with the, it pretty much, if it worked, it did pretty much wrap around the setup that NaVi had with the super.
They're like, you know what? You know, Nuke? We could do the smoke wall. We could do that here.
So definitely some new stuff coming out from them. Just need to iron out the details of those smokes a little bit. I'm sure it'll work a little bit better in the future.
I wonder if they did that during the season at all, because that was the first time I saw it.
Yeah,
they'll tell me on that analyst desk.
We're out of our element in this match to a certain degree. We're East and North American teams. It's a big step up. But we do end up going into the 15th round, and mousesports with plenty of cash to spare. Still going to be fully bought. Let's see where NaVi ended up at in terms of their buy. It's actually not going to be too bad with Guardian being able to save his own op. I'm pretty sure he was able to drop a rifle over to Simple, and everybody else just ends up fully buying to the best of their own abilities. Only one real huge downgrade on Edward down to the UMP. Besides that, everybody is able to at the very least get a rifle, some armor, and a nade or two. Flamey being the one exception there. He does not get any utility to play with. mousesports go right back to at least seeming like they're going to try to go fast outside. Oscar spots Guardian up on top over here by the boost, though, and destroys him, and once again wins in another out the optimal. Rups finding another entry here, and he's going to go for a second. Having some trouble getting that second kill, though, so Simple is going to be able to trade it. Problem is that doesn't really seem to matter even with that kill. mousesports have so much control here of the A-bomb site, and Dennis, with the position inside the smoke, he can punish them by the window side. Doesn't actually get the kills. The smoke's making things a little bit too hard to see from inside of there, but now more trying to push their way in. Flamey actually gets away with a kill where he didn't really seem like he was going to be able to get that against Chris J, but Dennis already traded back one more. Low with this pickup on Flamey, and now just Edward left alive. mousesports indeed close out in dominating fashion with a 12-3 scoreline.